For over a century, there has been collegiate sports, and ever since its conception, especially in the United States, college sports compete with professional sports for the top broadcasting times, media coverage, and even top athletes at a point in time. Remember the times when basketball players could skip straight to the NBA? It was eventually outlawed by a collective bargaining agreement since the NBA and some players thought that was bad practice. But what if some players did not want to spend a year being a broke college student and risking an injury that could affect their future in the NBA if they had the talent to be there straight out of high school? Is a 4-year college degree worth it if someone is missing out on millions in the process? If we take a step back and look at common denominators here, we could see the problem may be the fact that star college athletes are broke. If some college sports are watched just as much, if not more than some professional sports, that raises the question, why aren't they paid as such? I'll answer that question for you. That was because some bright geniuses over at the National Collegiate Athletic Association, also known as the NCAA, made up a term called amateurism. Amateurism is, as defined by the NCAA, and I quote, someone who does not have a written or verbal agreement with an agent, has not profited above his or her actual necessary expenses, or gained a competitive advantage in his or her sport. Essentially saying that you as a college athlete can never receive more money than your living expenses at some college and the tuition and related expenses to go along with that, which, being completely honest, most athletes probably don't even care about. At the Division I level, most athletes are concerned about making it to the next level, not becoming the next Albert Einstein. Back in my day, when I played college football at the Division II level, might I add, most of my teammates saw class as an inconvenience and something they only attended in order to remain eligible for football. Speaking from the point of view, you may infer that tuition and related expenses for athletes may actually be a waste of money, especially if you consider that most of them don't even take it seriously anyway. And if that's the case, why not give the players the option to attend school and get tuition and related expenses, or just outright receive it as a salary and let them use it for living expenses and let them do with it as they please? I know this idea would have some adverse effects, but at least that's a more effective use of the college's funds. And you could even keep the students out of the classrooms that don't want to be there anyway. But overall, if the profits from college sports don't go to the players, don't you wonder where that money ends up? Cough, cough, maybe in the NCAA's bank account. Cough, cough. Maybe in the not-for-profit colleges' growing endowment funds. Yes, players have the ability to now profit off of their name, image, and likeness. But what about the great players that don't have 100,000 followers on Instagram or TikTok that will result in a brand deal? A good friend of mine has played for the Florida Gators and now the Jacksonville Jaguars for 4 seasons, and he is a right tackle. And he just now got to 43,000 followers on Instagram. Some people might add, oh, he's a millionaire, he has a $1 million contract. Why would he care about his Instagram followers? He would care about his Instagram followers because usually brands use that as leverage when creating brand deals. And most importantly, if you don't have a following of a certain amount of people, you probably won't get good brand deals anyway. So if the NCAA only lets players have the money from their name, image, and likenesses, that will mean that a lot of players don't get paid at all because they're not very marketable. So, hey, NCAA, I get you don't want these young men and ladies to be taken advantage of by agents at the young age of 18 or 19, but you need to also realize the fact that that doesn't mean that you can exploit them either and say that you're doing it for the greater good. I understand that some of these athletes are young and may be prone to making premature and irrational decisions, but this does not give you the authority to make that decision for them and their families. After all, if an athlete tears their ACL and can't go pro anymore, guess what just happened? They lost out on all the money that they would have had if they would have signed a contract to go pro for that year. And the people that are going to be affected most is the athlete and their families, not you, NCAA. So therefore, it's not your call on whether they get to go to the league early or do it later. The consequences of their actions lie with them. Don't sit in the middle and make them make a decision in your favor. At the end of the day, if these athletes have immense talent and they can profit off of it, they should be able to. How often do you actually get the opportunity to make money off of your name, especially that early in your life? So you should allow these athletes to make what they can in the time that they are given. If you watched to the end, I sincerely thank you. I ask that you like and subscribe and share with some friends. I make videos pertaining to these issues all the time, and I'd love to have you guys come with me on the journey.